The relationship between time and sound is ancient. The first clocks were bells. The word clock itself derived from the Latin term cloca, which is bell. What's the modern interpretation of this? That's the minute repeater. The minute repeater became that representation of this ancient relationship between time and sound.
I would like to show you a watch that is very dear to me because it's the watch that my grandfather made to become a master watchmaker. It is a minute repeater. So if you would like to listen.
When Audemars Piguet knew we wanted to redevelop the minute repeater, one of the first things that they did was studying the minute repeaters of the past. You have this purity of sound from those 1920s, 1930s minute repeating mechanisms. How do we get the purity of those vintage wristwatches, but in a contemporary case that could stand the turbulence of modern existence?
People working on minute repeater have always considered separately the movement from the casing. And as an engineer, I considered it as a mechanical problem to solve. In the former way of building minute repeaters, you generate the sound with the movement and then you have to cross the barrier of the metal shape. With the needs for waterproof watches, we lost the opportunity for the sound to propagate. And what we achieved with the RD1 was to be no longer dependent of the modern shape of the watches.
About 8 years after the project was launched, we introduced the first RD1, which is similar to this one. So if I make the demonstration again,
So the link between the past and the link between the present, it's not just romantic, it's actually causal. There is an inextricable link between this watch and between the new generation of minute repeaters.
you can hear that the sound again is really beautiful, but you hear it perfectly. We take something that has been part of us for many generations and we bring it to the next level.
In addition to the workshops, we also have the product department, and their responsibility is huge as well. They're the ones that are really translating the watchmaking that's occurring on the bench into the ultimate expression that they're looking for, that the client is looking for as well.
From the design to the proto and finally to production, we're at the center of that process because we give the impulse, but it's really a teamwork. Behind us, we have technical teams for movements and casings. They help us go from a 2D design or idea to a 3D feasible construction. And if we start, for example, with the tourbillon, when we think about it, we think about precision and aesthetics. When we think about perpetual calendars, we like to play with materials. We've launched the black ceramic perpetual calendar, one of our best sellers nowadays. And finally, when we talk about grand complication, we have to put together the most complicated complications in our industry, which are chronograph, split-second chronograph, minute repeater, and perpetual calendar. And all of that in 15 millimeters. So my team and I are basically building a long-term and hopefully successful product strategy. We're working on that very hard every day.
It's going to be a very exciting and vibrant next chapter for Audemars Piguet. Between the museum, between the hotel, between calibers, and between product, we're going to be seeing many exciting things and really setting the stage for decades and decades to come.